Hello, ladies, and welcome to the Beauty Shaman. So today we have stylist extraordinaire, ANDREA PHLAUMER, who is the author of Shopping for the Real You, backed by popular demand because so many of you watch that. And I loved doing it. And so we are talking every season. We're going to talk about new styles. So thank you so much, ANDREA, for coming back on.
It's my great pleasure.
Awesome. I just so enjoy talking to you. I really do. You're just one of my favorite people. And I think you have such great information to share with people that's so helpful and constructive. And I think that's what we need. We need that really simple, but really helpful. So I love all this. And we're going to talk about some wonderful things today. So what is our theme for today?
Well, we're talking about fashion for summer 2022. And what we're seeing, you know, the way I see it is that people are still somewhat in lockdown mentality. But what I mean by that is they really kind of like the comfort of wearing casual, unrestricted, comfortable clothing. And so that theme has been sort of carried out. You know, I know that in the last season, we were seeing lots of embellishments like puffy sleeves and fancy collars and this sort of thing. But for the summer particularly, what we're seeing is just very comfortable clothing. It's the only way I could put it. So that's kind of the theme. You know, people don't want to be restricted. What that means is probably next year you're going to start seeing tighter clothes and more adornment. But this is what we have.
Yes. And we are going to get to jeans. So just kind of a prelude to what's coming up, but jeans are comfortable and probably they're going to get less comfortable, right? They're going to go lower on the waistband. And I think we're going to talk about that because I think the comfort to the, you know, is going to start shifting. So I think we've got the summer to be comfortable. So let's talk about some of these great trends. So one of the trends, let's start with midi dresses. Right. So when we say midi, I, for some reason, have this brain lock where I constantly go to mini, right? Because I don't know if midi is a new phrase, but when people talk about it, I think, oh, you're talking about mini, but you're not. You're talking about like between your ankle and your knee, right?
That's right. Let me just throw this in here now. You will see for the younger women or women who are have great legs into their 50s, they're wearing mini skirts, real mini skirts. Oh, I'm talking about midi. Now, midi skirts, if they're in the wrong length, if they hit you at the thickest part of your calf, and if you tend to have thicker calves, they're going to make you look a little dumpy. So it has to be just at the right point where there's a slight indent coming down. And it's a very elegant look. It's a very relaxed look. It's a very feminine look. And in the winter, you know, it's the kind of thing you would wear with boots, but we're seeing them in the summer all over the place. And I'll talk about shoes later, but I will just say that a lot of these midi dresses, the girls are wearing them with your favorite shoe, slides. Slides are still a big theme. But the midi dresses, one of the angles that they're taking on them, and I know a lot of French women tend to love this, they're called the slip dress. They're satiny materials. They do graze the body very elegantly and gently. They could be beautiful for an evening or for an outdoor wedding, that sort of thing, especially a midi dress, whether it's, you know, one of that fabric or a printed fabric, would be very nice for an outdoor wedding or an outdoor event. But those very sleek looking sort of 30s and 40s looking ones, your favorite era.
I know, it's my era.
Just, those are all over the place now. But in addition to the slinky ones, we're also seeing things like crochet. A crocheted midi dress is the kind of thing you might see worn over a swimsuit or a two-piece suit if you want to go there. So anyway, that's a big theme. They're very elegant. They're very pretty. They're very feminine.
But it's not for every body type. I like to go into body types because a lot of these kind of dresses look really good on people who, you know, like you say, they graze the body. So I mean, the body becomes much more body conscious. So what sort of body shapes do you feel like are going to look best? What do we need to be aware of with this?
Well,
particular style?
that's a big question.
Yeah, I know.
For the for the slinky ones, yeah, you do have to have a sort of what they call the triangle shaped body.
Yeah.
Not a lot of curves, just as something. It looks like a slip. It hangs loosely on the body, but there are also knit ones, and I've seen a lot of younger women with large bodies who are wearing these kind of dresses. It's sort of become more acceptable culturally.
Mm,
It just, wear some good shapewear underneath it is my
right.
my point. But for the slinkier ones, yeah, a thinner, straighter body really tends to work better.
Now let's talk a little bit about undergarments, because I think this is something that is really important as we get older, is figuring out the right, shapewear, I guess. So what do you recommend as far as shapewear?
Well, there's all different. I mean, they're all over the place. There's a bra company called Shape Ease, and it tends to flatten the back flab,
Uh-huh.
which is really great. And they tend to come down to the waist. So that's if you're carrying a large bust and you really want to take care of the upper part of your body, that's a great way to go. But they're also they look like one-piece tank tops, not tank tops, like a mail-up bathing suit, but
Yes.
made in shapewear. And there are several companies that do that. I don't have any that I recommend specifically because it depends on what's comfortable for you. But the ones that I like, I'll show you, they tend to have not boning, but they tend to have panels right through the midsection and in the back. And that tends to be, and I hear that they're very comfortable.
Mm.
So I would recommend looking for something that's a one piece that you can just slip on under, especially under one of these knit dresses. That would be
Yes.
a better way to go.
Right.
And
Interesting.
they also have the panties that can go up to the top of the knee. So if you're going to be wearing a fitted or a knit skirt or pants or dress, and that's the area that you're concerned about, your rear end and your thighs, then one of those would be perfect.
So it's just like something that goes like maybe like mid leg, right? Like above your
Right,
knee,
exactly.
up to your waist. So it just takes
Exactly.
that and it like tightens
Hmm.
it in.
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
Awesome. I mean, I don't know if we can talk about this, but I've used Spanx off and on.
Oh, yeah, Spanx,
Yeah.
absolutely. Spanx is, they've withstood the test of time because they're
Yes.
good. People
Yes.
like them, they come back to them. I recommend them to my clients. Thank you
Yeah.
for reminding me.
Yeah, I love Spanx. I actually have a couple. I continually buy them as I wear them out and
Hmm.
then go buy more. They just
Yeah,
tend to, and they're comfortable when it's really hot out. They tend to still,
that's
I
a
don't
really key
sweat.
point.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, they
You don't
breathe.
want to be sweating. You,
Right,
you don't want to be wrapping yourself in plastic wrap.
right. So to finish off the midi dress thing. So if you are like that's a very long dress. So if you
Right.
are like shorter, on the shorter side, is that something you kind of shouldn't gravitate towards?
I'm sorry,
Shouldn't gravitate towards if you're on the shorter side?
the shoes?
No, 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 the dresses, the midi dresses, so they're very long. So if you are a short person,
Oh, it
yeah.
really, right. So, it's all about proportion. It
Mm,
really is. Anybody can wear any length of a dress, of a skirt, of pants, or anything. It depends on your proportions, and it depends on the proportion of how it's cut for you. Even wider leg capri pants, they'll work almost for anybody unless you have short legs and heavier legs, that sort of thing. So for a midi dress, the most important thing is it depends on the length of your leg, really, and your proportions between the top of your body and the bottom of your body. If you have a short torso, then a midi dress is very nice for your body. If you have a longer torso and shorter legs, a midi dress, I mean, it's kind of forgiving because it doesn't show your waistline. It makes you look like you have a longer line. So if you want to look more lengthened or tall, a midi dress can work for a lot of different people. And it doesn't have to be straight. You know, some of the ones that we're seeing are these really pretty cotton floral ones, and those can have a little flow to them, so they're not straight toward the bottom. That can balance out a heavier bust area. So if they come out toward the bottom, that would be better for somebody with a more, you know, hourglass shaped body. So I think that's it. It really, you know, at some point, I think people need to trust their gut. You can have rules that you set out, but a specific garment can break the rule and still work for you if the proportion looks appropriate, if it makes your body look balanced. You just want to make sure that you don't look top heavy, bottom heavy, or that your legs look shorter. And again, if you have very wide calves, it may not be the best look for you. You may want to wear something that's longer. And that's the other thing. We're also seeing longer skirts to the ankle.
And that's our next topic. So let's just take this conversation into the longer skirt.
That's right. If you don't want to, they're showing these down to the ankle. They're very loose, they're flowing, they're very casual. They're made of a lot of them are sort of jersey knits or some of the new bamboo synthetics that are natural synthetics. And they're wearing them with either simple t-shirts or a lot of tank tops. Now, if you feel uncomfortable showing your upper arms in a tank top, then you can wear them with a 3/4 length sleeve, you know, anything from 3/4 to elbow length, which is very popular now, to a short sleeve. Just make sure if you're wearing a short sleeve, if you have a large bust, that sleeve doesn't accentuate the line of your bust. I see some people doing this, and I think it's a visual error because it makes you look a little top heavy. But they really look very nice with the sleeveless tank tops. Very simple. You could wear one of these really long, simple flooring skirts with a simple white tank top and a simple gold piece of a necklace or earrings, and you just look great day or night. So that's
Right.
another theme, is the ankle length. And if you feel uncomfortable with your legs, that's the way to go instead of the midi dress.
Yes. And also, interestingly, with these, you're seeing shoes that are like Birkenstocks. I mean, we're going to get more into shoes later, but I was so shocked to see, you know, one of the photos, someone with a very elegant long skirt on with Birkenstocks. I was like, that would have been like an affront when I was a kid if you did that. So interesting, the different, you know, you can kind of get away with a lot.
Yeah, not only Birkenstocks, but they're showing them with sneakers, you know, with white
Yes.
thick-soled sneakers. I used to think it was just the younger girls that were just getting away with it, but I've seen a lot of women do this, and I think it's sort of a poke in the eye to the fashion industry. It's saying, I'm going
Yes.
to be comfortable, you know,
Yes.
I'm going to be able to run. But yeah, you'll see them like that. They'll see the Birkenstocks, but slides and other flats will work with the longer skirts and even with the midi dresses. But although with the midi dresses, I've seen and I prefer some kind of a heel, especially if it's a more elegant event.
And I think later we get into heels. So I just want to give a little prelude to that, because, or not heels, but like shoes in specific, because there's some amazing shoes, colorful, beautiful shoes to go with a lot of these, that I really want everyone to stay till the end to be able to hear the shoe part, because the shoes are so key right now and so fun. And I love fun, playful, colorful shoes. So,
Me too.
so that's really important, especially with a lot of these longer styles, and even with what we're moving into now, which is pants.
Right.
So and this is actually my personal favorite. I love very classic, the pleats, but my memories of pleats were, when I was about 20 pounds lighter. So I guess, so I guess my first thought is, this is lovely. It's coming back. It's, wow. Are we going to be able to pull this off?
Well, that's the thing about the pleats, is that if you have hips or a belly, the pleats are going to make it pooch out. And especially when you sit down, the
Yes.
pockets will come out.
Yes.
So that's something to keep in mind. The pleated pants, the sort of relaxed pleated Katharine Hepburn type pleated pants that I've talked about before are very much in fashion now, but they really suit somebody who has a narrower waist and not and isn't worried about their thighs or their hips, because it will make you look heavier a little bit. But what I think is that, you know, what we're going to see coming, for better or for worse, they're going to be dropping the waists a little bit, because these are all high-waisted styles. Now, here's the point. A higher waisted style will de-emphasize your hips and belly a little bit than one that comes right to the midline of your waist. The dropped waist will elongate the look of your torso, and it'll take some emphasis off of the thickness around the middle part of your body.
Right.
So if you want that, it's coming. They're already there. The lower drop waists. A lot of the younger women are wearing them with crop tops and showing their midsections, but you don't need to do that.
Yes.
You can wear a knit top tucked in, and that will do the same thing. So the pants are really elegant. They're very comfortable. They're very relaxed. Some of the exaggerated ones have very wide legs. They're not traditional bell bottoms, because those would be narrow in the thigh and then wider from the knee to the ankle. These are sort of all, you know, they're starting at the waist and they come out like that. Some are very exaggerated. Those only work for taller people. A shorter woman with a very exaggerated line on the hemline of these wider leg pants, it's going to make you look foreshortened. Also, the higher the waist, if you have a short waist like I do, I have a very short waist, you don't want a really high-waisted pant, because that's going to even make you look shorter. So again, it's all about proportion. So if you have a shorter waist and you like this look and you want to de-emphasize your hips a little bit, then have the waist start at just slightly above your natural waist, just slightly. Otherwise, you're going to look really shortened. That's what I would say about these pants. And they look very nice also with a simple tank top or a perfect white blouse. And then the shoes we'll talk about later. But the whole idea is that it should look unforced, that the whole theme that that I mentioned in the beginning is just ease, comfort, relaxation, and as if you put no effort into putting on this outfit, which it should be that way, right?
Right. Well, so that leads me to the question about, dressing up and dressing down. So normally with pleated pants, my memories of pleated pants are it's more of a dressy look, but that's not necessarily the case. A lot of these are really, it's pleated trousers with like maybe a flat shoe and a very casual shirt, which is like really interesting. And I think it makes them a little bit more accessible.
Absolutely. And, linen, I mean, I love linen. I'm wearing linen. Linen is huge every summer, but this year it's really big.
Yeah.
And you're going to be seeing a lot of these pants in linen and in khaki kind of materials, just, sort of casual, think just very, 1940s kind of look, sitting by the ocean, having your cocktail in these casual pleated pants and lighter fabric. And that's what we're seeing for the summer.
Wonderful. I love the idea of sitting by the ocean in your pleated trousers. That just, I would say trousers. That just sounds absolutely amazing. So let's continue on with pants and talk about jeans. All right, we're on to jeans, as I alluded to earlier. So, they're all a wider leg. So does that mean we take all of our skinny jeans from a couple seasons ago and toss them out? It is over? Is that, is that what we have to do?
I think every kind of jean is always going to be in fashion to some extent if it suits you and you love it and you want to go for it. But, and I think there's a sort of tyranny when you see these every day in my email, I get, oh, this is out and this is in. And so the out is the skinny jean and the in is the more loose, relaxed ones. And so, yeah, they're very similar to the pleated pants, except they're looser, and
Right.
they're some of them are straight leg but looser around the hips, that they call We used to sort of call them girlfriend jeans now, or mom jeans. I don't know what they're going to call them now, but they're acceptable. You can wear them and not feel dumpy in them because every age range is wearing them and feeling comfortable in them. And so, let's see, I said they're generally looser. The legs are generally wider. That's the trend, still staying on that direction. And you're going to see the drop waist in these. So if you want to elongate the look at your waist, then you can wear these slightly lower waisted jeans slightly and wear them. You can wear them with a simple knit top or tuck in a sleeveless sweater or even a sweater with sleeves, and that would work. They're showing them a lot with polo shirts. Polo shirts are very popular now and they're very cute. But again, keep in mind that there's that line right here on the arm for the polo shirt. And if you're top heavy, it's going to bring a lot of emphasis there. So, and especially if you're carrying a lot of weight in this part of your body, polo shirts don't particularly work. But you know, you can wear them with a simple classic blouse, look perfect, very dressy, very nice. I mean, you could, the thing is, jeans are so easy to dress up. You can wear them with something very casual like a t-shirt or a nicer white blouse and a shorter blazer, because if you're wearing a wider leg pant, you don't want too big or voluminous a jacket or top to go over it. I know that, you know, they're still sort of showing some of the oversized jackets now, but not as much. So keep it a little bit closer to the waistline so that that lets, you know, it's like, it's the proportions, you know, you want 1/3 and then 2/3, you know, 1/3 of the top, 2/3 of the bottom, or 2/3 on the top, 1/3 on the bottom. It's related to what's called Fibonacci ratio. It has to do with what we see in nature of what is nice proportion. People get it, you know, honestly, people really do. They can see it. You can see it in yourself. So use that as your sort of measure.
I love that you brought Fibonacci into it. I love, you know, the Fibonacci. I mean, I love the Fibonacci spiral. I study some sacred geometry and I just think it's amazing. So it's interesting you brought that into it, but yeah.
One thing I'll say about that, with the jeans, a button down makes it look more classic. One of those flurry tops works well if you're a more romantic, a girly girl type of style. And then depending on the sleeve, if it's loose and open sleeve, you'll use more of that ethereal type. And then if you're kind of energetic and high spirited, you just dress it up with some cool bracelets, you know? You should pull your sleeves up, wear some cool bracelets with a simple white top, and then those jeans, you look good to go, very chic.
That's awesome. And there's one of the jeans I wanted to mention in the photos, it's a wider legged pants and it's cropped. And it has like some not seams, but like strings hanging down, right? Yes, it's a very trend look. And then the model has a little heel on. So is this wearable, I guess, for older women with the, not just the strings hanging down, but like the heel with the wide leg crop? I'm wondering, like, I always want to look like age appropriate and according to who I am, right? You want to sort of reflect yourself, but you also want to be sort of appropriate to a certain level, right? Depending on what you're doing. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to get in trouble for this.
Do it, Andrea.
I don't like those cropped wide leg
you know
pants.
what? I'm glad you said that. I don't like him either. That's why I'm asking.
I know some women
like,
do. You know, if you're very tall, and I just think they especially if they're worn with like kitten heels or something, they just sort of throw you off. They make you look like you're, I don't know. They don't seem to have the kind of weight to make you look elegant, in my opinion. So if you want to wear them, sure. But I think, you know, if you're going to do that, I think go casual, wear them with sneakers. And that would probably work for a lot of women in the summertime. But again, you know, they tend to make your legs look a little chunky, especially if they are. So caution. That's the only thing I will say about that.
No, I appreciate you saying that. I see very, very few people who can pull it off well. And, you know, it's just not common for people to be able to wear it and look like really stylish. So
I feel that way.
yeah, and I think I've seen that so much of the time that I avoid them like the Black Plague. Okay, so let's move into shoes, something a little bit happier here. There are some amazing summer shoes, very colorful, very bright. Oh my gosh, different lengths, different heels, different, you know, lengths of heels. So let's talk about shoes.
Okay, so I want to talk first about the artsy type of shoes that we're going to be seeing, because you're seeing a lot of mules with a higher heel in things like raffia and pleated materials and sweet little patterns. And that becomes the pop. That becomes the thing that shows. And so you want to keep the rest of the outfit fairly simple. Like, say, for example, you're wearing a monocolor outfit. Even if the color is a neutral and you wear a pop of these colorful shoes, that really makes a statement. And you can balance it on the top by maybe wearing some dangly earrings, or you know, a colorful earring, or a simple gold necklace or something like that, that brings the attention up and down and back up again. But these shoes, I just think, are so beautiful. And, you know, with everything else being sort of uncertain and bland and simple and relaxed and comfortable in clothes and uncertain in the world, bringing in that joy in your shoes said, I'm going to step forward with these with joy.
Yeah.
So you're seeing those are what I'm seeing in the slides. And then a lot of mules are still very popular too, but also the slides themselves are having more color. They're having more again, the color, they're sort of folded and pleated, some of them. They're interesting details, not overly cutesy, but interesting artistic details you're starting to see on some of these shoes. And in heels, there's a couple of different trends. A big trend is it's like a chunk heel with, it's a sandal with an ankle strap. Those are very elegant to be worn with some of those longer midi dresses, and with jeans, with longer jeans, they'll work beautifully. And we're seeing some of them with the cropped pants. those heels are they're very comfortable. They're very stable on your feet because the heel itself tends to be thicker. But again, anytime you wear an ankle strap, it's going to make the bottom half of your leg look shorter and a little wider. So if you don't want to do that, don't go for anything with an ankle strap. Having said that, there's a new trend coming up too. That's not a gladiator sandal. It's more like a Greek sandal with thin, you know, leather cords that you sort of tie up, but you don't tie them way high up to the knee. Some women will, I'm sure, the younger girls, but that's a softer look, and it's still a strappy sandal look, but it's kind of pretty. They're in heels, they're in flats, and they're very feminine, actually kind of sexy and elegant. So that's another theme. And then, you know, yes, Berkeys are back.
Yeah.
For better or for worse, but they're showing them in all kinds of very playful colors. So that's kind of nice too. And those work very well with those wider leg pants, really well with the wider leg pants. And if you want to be brave and wear them with a midi dress, sure, go ahead and wear it. So that's kind of what their shoes are. Oh, let me see. I also wanted to say platforms. Yeah, a lot of the sandals now are in platforms. They're giving you height, they're giving you some stability. Some of the really higher platforms, the orthopedic surgeons love you wearing those. So,
oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Boom. I mean, I know
that you'll fall over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, the really high platforms, if you're very young and very stable and have good bones, sure, go for it. If your bones are a little brittle, do not wear the higher platforms.
Right.
And then there's a very interesting trend that we're seeing in some of the flats, which I call the bubble trend. And that is they look almost like bedroom slippers because they're kind of puffy. and they're leather or, faux leather, and they're almost cartoonish in a way. And I think they work fine if you're by the pool, in slides, they'd be great. Other than that, they're a little, cartoonish to me,
Yeah.
but they're popular. And then let's see, I think that's it. We talked about the Berkeys and now the colorful ones. They used to be considered, the Berkeys used to be considered after a certain point really déclassé and
Right.
boring, but they've become iconic,
Mm.
and they're sort of they sort of say, yeah, I know this was big in the 70s, but there was a reason for that. They're comfortable. So that's a thing about Birkenstocks, that they have longevity. There are
Yes.
a lot of different shoes that have longevity, and those are one.
I know some people are very excited about this.
Yeah, I know that.
Yes. I know a bunch of people that are like, yay,
Hey, the Birkins
Birkenstocks,
are back.
I was never a Birkenstock fan. So I tend to go for very classic looks. So
Right.
I look at them and think, I'm not wearing that. Like, I'm not wearing
No,
that.
no, no.
But a lot of people love it, and the comfort and the bright colors, I think altogether can be just so fun and playful.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
I
love,
can I can definitely see you. I mean, Birkies are essentially slides in a
yeah,
way,
yeah.
but the slides that I see you in, because you have classic and romantic and high
Mm,
spirited,
yeah.
but I would definitely see you in some of those really elegant slides, like, some with the folds
Oh,
in beautiful colors, in gold or silver. Yeah, it would just be beautiful for your type of style. So anybody who has more classic, that's the kind of direction I would go with slides. But there's no reason that somebody can't wear a colorful mule.
yeah.
Everybody
Yes.
can do that in some way. It'd be very pretty.
I agree. I totally agree. Okay, let's hit the last area, which is bags. So there's some very, cool kind of different structures and different materials, like the
That's
very
right.
interesting materials that I think we need to talk about.
We're seeing, every summer you'll see raffia and straw. They're always going to be in. And if you get a nice one, keep it. It'll work forever. Um, but we're also seeing crochet. I used to crochet my own bags when I was about 20,
Uh-huh.
and they're back. But these are very intricate and very interesting ones. I think Zara had some terrific ones with interesting lattice work. So that's something you might want to take a look at. Those would be great by poolside. They work beautifully with a simple top, wider leg pants or jeans. And even those would look nice with a longer dress, although I kind of like to see the raffia or the straw, more structured bags with a longer dress, not with a slinky dress, because that's more formal. You would want something more like a clutch or something like that. But yeah, and also denim, it's forever. The LL Bean denim, tote bag. That's another forever thing that you can, work with any outfit that's casual and going to the beach, obviously, that sort of thing. But I really like this crochet and raffia direction of more structure and color. So instead of just tan and black and beige, they're showing them in some prettier colors now.
Yeah, I love them. Now, why don't you talk just briefly before we close out on bag size given your body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was a sort of, it said, there was a sort of rule, again, these rules that you should not get a bag that's wider than you are from front to back, but that's a little, it depends. I've seen shorter women who are carrying more weight on their body be able to wear larger bags. So it depends on your height and your size. And you have to eyeball it again. And I think that, if it's, think about the structure of the bag. If you have softness and roundness, and you want to look for a bag that has some of that reflection in it. There are some of these straw bags that are round in shape that are very cute. They showed them last year. They're still showing them. If you have more substance or more angles or more energy, natural style, the way I do, you can go for more structured square type bags. And then if you have more softness, or, ethereal type, those crochet bags would look beautiful. And the size it depends on, well, first of all, it depends on how much you're going to carry in it.
Yes. Yes.
That's always a big key.
Yeah.
But the way I describe it, I think I even said this in my book, is that you don't want the bag to announce itself before you show up.
Right.
That's the thing. So size should be commensurate with the rest of your outfit and with you. Don't let the bag overshadow you because it's a cool bag.
Right.
And that goes also for color and for texture and fabric. The shinier materials work if you're a very more dramatic type. If you're more natural type, the more natural structure materials work better for you. It really, pay attention to how much that bag pops in relation to the rest of your outfit. It should complement it and make it look completed, not overshadow it or look ridiculously small. I just bought a mini bag, a Marc Jacobs mini bag, that because I'm so little, it looks like a regular size bag for me.
Right.
So, to say don't buy a mini, it depends on your size.
Right. Right. No, I totally agree with that. And that what you just talked about, I also think goes with makeup, since that's my area. If your makeup announces you, that's too much, or it's too bright, or there's something with it. I think the idea of everything working together and looking like it works. I mean, that's the most basic terminology around it. But I think if something precedes you, then you got to get a smaller size or a different, whatever it is, like there's something up with that. So I think that's a great rule of thumb.
Yeah, it's part of what we call human harmony in the styling work that I'm doing and in the courses I'm creating. It's human harmonics. It's the harmony between your face, your body, and what you put on it that come together as a whole.
Right. Right. And I think that's great just for your whole life, right? We want our life
Absolutely.
to be harmonious and peaceful and beautiful and full of light and fairies and unicorns.
I think we all need more beauty now.
We do.
I was having this conversation with a friend. We need to work a little harder to make sure that we constantly have things that inspire us and that are beautiful. And that goes very much for our clothes, because we're going to see ourselves in the mirror every day if we look in the mirror every day.
Yeah.
So beauty is important. And what is beautiful can be different for every person, but it must be meaningful and harmonious with who you are intrinsically.
Right. I love that. I love how you bring in a person's character to what they wear. Like you just connect those so beautifully. And I think that's, it's so easy to look at fashion and think, wow, this doesn't work for me, or how would I make that work? Like, I think sometimes we get stuck. We don't know how to implement it, but it really does start with who you are, right? How you show up in the world, your personality, your character, what feels harmonious to you. I'm a big Iris Apfel fan. I don't know if you know Iris Apfel. She's in her 90s. She must be almost 100 now, and is like an icon. She is an icon. And I see pictures of her and I think she just gets it right. And she wears all these bright colors and chunky jewelry, and she's petite like you, and she manages it. She pulls it off. And so I think always it is about what you're talking about harmony and harmonics. So I love that. And I'm so glad you bring that to the table.
Yeah. Yeah. She owns it. And I think that's it. When you own, the image that you are projecting, people feel it, they sense it.
Yes.
And they trust you because they feel like, you know yourself, therefore I can trust that you're going to be honest with me.
Right. Right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Andrea, for bringing us summer 2022. But when I originally wrote this down, I wrote 2021. I was like, oh my God, what happened? Anyway, thank you so much for this. This has been, as usual, constructive and super helpful.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. It's always a pleasure to speak with you and your audience.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, for tuning in. Please write down below. Andrea and I both just love to hear from you and respond to you and answer your questions. Please contact Andrea directly on her website at shoppingfortherealyou.com. Right, Andrea? I got that right?
That's right. Thank you.
That's right. And go ahead and email her there if you have questions or you want to have an appointment with her. She's absolutely fabulous. I highly recommend her. Thank you so much for watching The Beauty Shaman.